In VEDA number 15 this past Monday, I asked this thought experiment. You are totally into this musical artist, whether they're a band or a person, however they're calling themselves. Bombshell, you find out the person who's been making all this music is Charles Manson. How does that affect your perspective on the music? Whether or not you buy their music, pirate it, will you not tell people you like it, will you continue telling people? You guys left rockin' comments and video responses. I got 3 stellar comments, 3 stellar video responses, so I'm just going to go over them real quick, and then I'm going to give you what I thought. First 2 comments I got basically said the same kind of thing. They would both still enjoy the music. One would even still buy the music, but they didn't really say anything about whether or not they would share it with their friends. But the second comment I got was actually a whole bunch of comments, and she talked about basically the whole bare naked lady Stephen Page thing, and it really did skew how she felt about Stephen Page himself, and it kind of, like, from what I saw, took the wind from her sails, and she's not, you know, as enthusiastic about it at all anymore. But from the sounds of it, she still does enjoy the music, just is not, you know, as into it. While comments are totally awesome, video responses are epically legendary. So the first one that I want to talk about is Aaron's response, which was pretty much short and sweet.
I would probably still listen to it for a while at least, and then I would get creeped out that it was Charles Manson and I would stop.
I actually find that really interesting, that there's sort of a time cool down period level thing where you would still be kind of going for it, but eventually you get creeped out. The next video response I'd like to talk about is Tara's.
I can't say that I would do one or the other. I would want to, like, never listen to it again. I would want to, like, burn everything that I had of his, never see it again. And the other side, I think that I might actually still listen to it, but not want to make that I like his music known to everyone else.
So Tara's response seems like she's having a little bit of an existential crisis about it, which is totally awesome, and that's exactly the way I was thinking that people would probably respond. And she gives 2 options, but those 2 options are totally not mutually exclusive. You can definitely really, really want to burn everything they've ever had and hate them, and at the same time still like them and not want to tell anybody. Those are not mutually exclusive in any way. I have a feeling that for most people that's kind of what's gonna happen. You'd really, really want to, like, totally dismiss them, you're done with them, you're over, but you like them. You do. So maybe do you tell people that you're done with them, but secretly still like them? Is that like the compromise there? I don't know. But the next video response I'd like to talk about is Jack's.
The thing that keep in mind is that all art is up to interpretation, meaning that it can be used to argue for or against pretty much anything. Would I tell people my fondness of it? Probably not. The main reason being, most people wouldn't want to listen to music of his in the first place. Would I torrent his music? Yep. Definitely. I try to support artists I like, but definitely not in this case.
So just like I was speculating, his response is kind of on par with Tara's. He doesn't want to support them in any way, but he still would listen to their stuff and you know, enjoy it in some way. But the most poignant part of his response was the first thing that he said there, where music is, you know, it's deeper than the people who are making it, and it can be interpreted in any way that you want it for any agenda. So you just have to kind of think, like, not only are people, you know, supposed to be imagined complexly, but music is also imagined complexly, independent of the people who make it. My take on the whole thing is as follows. I would probably still like their music just the same. I would also probably refrain from buying anything else, but I would definitely still acquire it and listen to it somehow for free. As far as sharing with people what I liked, I don't really share with people what I like anyway, like say, oh, this person's so great. I probably wouldn't, like, as actively say, oh, they're awesome, you should listen to them, blah, blah, blah. But if somebody asked whether or not I like them, or if somebody asked me to list bands I like, I wouldn't avoid them. I still would list them definitely, totally. Because I really also separate the music from the person. So it doesn't really affect what they do as far as what I like. None of that really matters to me. And I don't think that it necessarily should. I think it should be 2 separate entities regardless of what separate entities do, they don't affect each other. And that is my thought on this whole thing. But hold up just 1 second before I go. Jack said something totally redonkulonk, and just listen.
By listening to his music, I'm not supporting his beliefs and murderous actions. I'm supporting the art that came out of his brain once, and nothing more. And I think we need to keep that in mind. What artists create don't necessarily represent them at all. After hearing some of his music, you would never think it was made by a racist, murderous cult leader. And yet it was.
Let's just make sure that you heard that. He used the phrase, his music. Present tense. That means he has music. And if you listen carefully underlying his video, he is playing Charles Manson's actual music. You can totally get it for free by downloading it. I'll put a link in the description. This dude actually made music one time, and that just blows my mind. You can really compare it. So my scenario isn't totally without merit. It's actually something that could happen. Someone could stumble upon some music. Maybe someone has an old folder and they don't have they just say track 1, track 2, track 3. They don't have any information about it, and they listen to it and they love it and they listen to it all the time, and years later they find out that what they've been listening to is Charles Manson. So if somehow you've seen this video and that exact thing happened to you, which is totally possible, you need to tell me right now, right away. I want to know what happened in your mind when that realization occurred. And I think it would be really interesting if somebody sneakily did that and tried to see their reactions. If you do that at some point in your life, please let me know. And you don't have to give me credit for the idea, but at the same time, you should give me credit for the idea, because it's a great goddamn darn doodly idea. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. I'm thinking about starting a Monday thing where I do like a thought experiment kind of thing, but this one was kind of the only one that's been in my head for a while, so we'll see. I really enjoyed the responses. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you tomorrow. VEDA! Get away from the door! I can hear you! Get away from the door!